If you are looking for a good value pre-built PC that will allow you to play at 1440p and also 1080p resolution, very smooth gameplay with no stutters, then you may want to consider this pre-built PC from Skytech, the Archangel 4. Throughout this video, I will talk about the specifications and I will compare it with other pre-built PCs to see if this one is actually worth the buy or not. The link to this exact same PC will be down below in the video description. With that being said, let's start. First, I will quickly talk about the specifications for this Archangel 4, and then I will tell you the level of performance that you can expect, and I will compare it with other pre-built PCs in the market. So for the CPU, you get the Ryzen 5 5600X alongside 16 gigs of RAM, 1TB NVMe SSD, a 600 watt power supply, and the RTX 4070. You also get a 1-year warranty, Windows 11 already installed, and you get Wi-Fi included. In terms of performance, for you to have an idea, on a 12 frame average at 1440p resolution on high to ultra settings, on the most high demanding titles, the RTX 4070 was able to average 88 FPS, which means that you will get a very smooth experience at 1440p resolution, since here we are talking about high demanding titles on ultra settings. So in most games, if you play on high settings or you don't play the most high demanding titles, you can expect 100 FPS on average. And if you play at 1080p, the RTX 4070 on that same 12 frame average on ultra settings was able to average 124 FPS. To be honest, this is an amazing gaming PC for 1440p resolution ultra settings, and if you want to play easy to run games such as Valorant, Fortnite and CS2, you can expect 240 plus FPS on average. So if you want a 240Hz 1440p or 1080p monitor, you can expect to take full advantage of it. So in my opinion, this is a very good computer in terms of specifications and performance, but the most important part here is the price, because you can have a great computer, but if the price is too much, then it's not worth the buy. But in this case, the price is $1,380, which is on a discount right now. It used to be $1,420, and honestly, in my opinion, this is one of the best prices for a pre-built PC with these specifications in the entire market, and I will explain why. But before doing that, let's compare this PC with other systems in the market. The first system that we are going to compare it to is the Alienware Aurora R16, because this is the Amazon's Choice gaming PC around the same price for $1,410, and you get the i7 13700F, 16 gigs of DDR5 memory, a 500 gig SSD plus 1TB of hard drive, and the RTX 4060. So this PC is more expensive, you get a better processor, DDR5 memory, which is nice, but you get the RTX 4060, which is much slower than the RTX 4070. The RTX 4060 is more of a 1080p GPU than a 1440p one, and you get 8 gigs of VRAM, so I wouldn't recommend it for 1440p ultra settings on high demanding titles. On that 12 frame average I've mentioned before, the RTX 4060 is not on the list, but it's slightly slower than the RX 6700 XT, so you can expect the number to be around 60 FPS on average, and that's 28 FPS slower on average than the RTX 4070. So in my opinion, this Alienware system is not worth the buy. Then moving to Best Buy, for around the same price, $1,350, you can get the HP Omen 40L. Now this PC is on a huge discount, you end up saving $150, and you get the Ryzen 7 7700, 16 gigs of DDR5 memory, a 1TB SSD, and the RTX 4060 Ti. Now this is a better value than the Alienware from Amazon, but in my opinion, the Archangel 4 is still better value because you get the RTX 4070. The RTX 4060 Ti is a nice GPU for 1080p resolution, and you can also use it for 1440p high to ultra settings depending on the VRAM, but this is the 8 gigs version, so it's not even the best RTX 4060 Ti version out there. And on that 12 frame average I've been mentioning throughout this video, at 1440p ultra settings, the 4060 Ti was able to average 66 FPS, 20 FPS slower on average than the RTX 4070. So even though this PC is not terrible for the price, since you get the Ryzen 7 7700, a very available PC over time, is not going to be the best value in my opinion. Moving to IBuypower, you can get the Ready Trace 7MP004 for $1,300, so it's slightly cheaper than the Archangel 4, and you get the i7 13700F, the 4060 Ti, 16 gigs of DDR5 memory, and a 1TB SSD. So just like the Omen 40L, not terrible for the price, but still not the best in my opinion in terms of performance. Once again, you get the 4060 Ti 8 gigs version, which I'm not a fan of, especially when you are spending $1,300 on a gaming PC. You're expecting to have at least 12 gigs of VRAM. Moving to Nzxt, which is one of the most popular pre-built PC brands out there, and in my opinion is because of the aesthetics. For the same exact specifications as the Skytech Archangel 4, you have to pay $1,600. $1,500. So you get the exact same specifications in the Ryzen 5 5600X, the RTX 4070, a 1TB NVMe SSD, and 16 gigs of DDR4 memory. Don't get me wrong, this is going to be amazing performance, but you're going to spend $1,600 when you can spend around $1,380 and get the same exact performance. If you're going to spend $1,600, there are better PCs with better hardware out there, and if you want to see those, I have a video on the best pre-built PCs of the month for every budget and every resolution. You would have that one in the top right of the screen. So that leads me to the conclusion that the Archangel 4 is the best value in the market if you want a great 1440p resolution monitor and gaming experience. If you want the RTX 4070 on your system, by far this is the best price to performance. You also have two other options from Skytech in the Eclipse Lite, which is basically the same exact PC, but instead of the Ryzen 5 5600X, you get the i5 12400F. So if you prefer Intel, go with that one. It's only $10 more expensive. And then you can get the Skytech Azure 2, which is more expensive at $1,530. And you get the Ryzen 7 5700X, the RX 7800 XT, which is slightly faster than the RTX 4070 in terms of rasterized performance. And then you get 32 gigs of RAM instead of 16 gigs, which is going to be amazing if you want to do content creation or streaming. I'm not the biggest fan of this system. I don't think it's the best in terms of price to performance from Skytech. I think the Archangel 4 is better value. Remember that you will have the link to the Archangel 4 and every PC mentioned in the description, because maybe